Welcome back to the worst Madden 24 rebuild I have done on this channel. Back in episode 1, we did a fantasy draft where I drafted the worst available players at every single position. We started as a 50 overall team. I have now simulated through 6 seasons. We are up to an 84 overall, but we are still not a very good team. We have a combined record in these last couple episodes of 18 and 84. So obviously we still have a lot of room for improvement. But this episode is probably going to be a shorter one. I think I'm only going to have time to do a couple seasons in this episode. Generally, they're 3 seasons, but today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter, as I'm only going to simulate 2. But we get to kick off this offseason with a really fun thing. Jimmy Edwards wants a new contract. Our franchise quarterback's contract has run up. We're going to offer him the player-friendly 6-year deal, and Jimmy Edwards will be coming back. I also really want to keep middle linebacker Carson Clifford, so we're going to up this money just a bit. How about a 3-year deal? And he has some interest in coming back, and he will also be returning. The next thing is the 5th-year option on defensive back Ladarius Slate. We're going to go ahead and take that. We are also going to take the 5th-year option on the other corner we took in the first round of that draft, Corey Newsome, up to an 80 overall with a star dev trait, so his contract is also going to be accepted. Now, as much as I would love to keep our starting center, Joe Sambucci, we're going to up this to a player-friendly deal, but he has very low interest in coming back. Will he resign? Yes, he will, actually. I do want to attempt to bring back wide receiver Tyler Scott, but I don't really want to give him a 3-year contract, so how about we up the money just a bit for a 2-year contract? Will he be taking that? Yes, he will. I would also love to bring back Antonio Johnson on a cheap deal, so we'll see if we can get that done on a 2-year contract. He does have a bit of interest in coming back here. Will he resign? Yes, he will. Just to try to keep our punter locked down, we're going to offer him a 3-year contract. We'll up the money just a bit because he does have very low interest in coming here. But will he take that? Yes, he will. So far, we have not missed out on anybody. But with only $31 million in cap now, we are probably done re-signing everybody. I did bring in wide receiver Stephon Diggs last season, but the offense really did not play that well. He's not wanting a ton of money, so we may bring him back in free agency if he's like one of the better available guys. But aside from that, I think everyone else is going to get to walk. So obviously there are a few holes on this team. I did draft Rashawn Carr in the last episode in the first round, and he is obviously not a very good running back. He came in with a normal depth trait. It was kind of a bust of a pick from the start, so we'll look to get a new running back. But we do have a really solid quarterback and a solid wide receiver 1, and I think a pretty decent wide receiver 2/slot receiver. And then we also have Jackson at tight end, who's an 86 overall. The offensive line probably needs some improvement though. But the big thing here is the defense, because we really have not had a good defense the entire 6 years. We've gotten some nice younger pieces around, but we really have not taken that next step as a defense yet. But I will say, before I really get into free agency here, we should be able to add a bit of help this offseason. We don't have a ton of cap space. We have about $30 million, but that's because we have several first-round picks. We have a total of 5 here, and they are all inside the top 12. And I fully intend to use all of them unless there is just not any good players where I am drafting. Then we will trade back and pick up even more picks for later on. But as of right now, I really do plan to use all 5 of those. I was not super active in this year's free agency. I only signed 4 people, but you can see I used pretty much the available cap space that we had. I brought in left guard John Gaines, running back Casey Hatchett, who is a star dev trait and a scheme fit, along with Tyree Wilson, who is a star dev trait and a scheme fit, and Kenny Spencer, who is a star dev trait and a scheme fit. So I feel like we got some decent pieces. So I really have not been showing these mock drafts in this series just because they're kind of pointless. The draft tends to fall the exact way it says it will. But I do want to point this out. We have picked 3 and 4 where we're expected to take a right tackle according to this mock draft. Then down here we're expected to take a corner. But then at 11 and 12, they want us to take 2 more right tackles. So in the top 12, they want us to take 4 right tackles. That is a little bit ridiculous. Jumping into the draft, we're going to take Cecil Pearson, a defensive back with our number 3 overall pick. He comes in with B-man coverage, B-press, A-catching, A-zone coverage, great speed, elite acceleration. Welcome to Minnesota with a hidden depth trait. And next up, with the 4th overall pick, we're going to take defensive tackle David Belser out of Ohio State. B block shading, B finesse move, B tackle, C power move. His awareness is a B. His play rec is somewhere between an A and a C. He has great strength. I think he will be a solid part for this team, and he will come in also with a hidden dev trait. I know I talked earlier about using all 5 of these draft picks, but this deal from Cincinnati is honestly pretty solid. We get a 1st round pick next year, a 3rd round pick in a couple of years, and a 2nd round pick this year. They picked inside the top 10 this year, so theoretically they shouldn't be too good next season, so we're going to go ahead and take this trade. This pick may end up biting me in the ass, and I am fully aware of that. Safety Keith Barker out of Clemson with B hit power, B tackle, C zone coverage, A to C man coverage, has great speed, solid acceleration. The real thing that concerns me though is that B to D awareness. I'm going to really hope it's more on the B side or a C at minimum. So let's see if Keith Barker is going to keep this streak alive of hidden dev trait players, and yes, he will. And with the very next pick, we're going to take free safety Parker Gordon here out of Oklahoma State. A hit power, C man coverage, B tackle, B zone, has solid speed, good acceleration, A to B awareness, C play rec. I think this guy can really help us out in the secondary as well, so Parker Gordon will be a normal dev trade. Alright, so we don't hit on all 4 of the picks I make in this round, but I still think he might be pretty solid. This draft pick might end up being a bit of a risk here. He's projected to go in rounds 3 to 4, but center Russ Camp out of Alabama, 21 years old, A awareness, A impact block, B pass block, B run block, with good strength. I am probably looking to move him over to guard. Well, let's go ahead and make this pick, and he will come in with a hidden dev trait as well. We also own the 7th pick here in the 2nd round, and we're going to go ahead and trade that to the Dolphins and pick up yet another 1st round pick for the next draft. We do own another pick here in the 2nd round at pick number 9, and I'm going to use it on wide receiver Lloyd Randolph out of West Virginia. A catching traffic, C catching, D deep route, which is a little bit concerning, and B release, but does have A to B awareness, and let's see what his speed rating is. It is listed as good with solid acceleration, but he's also 6'5", so I think this will be a really solid pick for us, and Lloyd Randolph will come in as a hidden dev trait as well. We don't really need another outside linebacker here, but in the 3rd round, I'm going to draft at best player available, and outside linebacker Lonnie Ford looks insanely good for where we're at. A block shed, A pursuit, A zone coverage, B awareness, A to C play rec, has elite speed and acceleration. Yeah, Lonnie Ford, welcome to Minnesota, and not really shocking, you have a hidden dev trait. But now in the 4th round, we're going to take another center here because this guy might be our backup center, but it's going to be Hudson Bishop out of West Virginia. A awareness, A impact block, A run block. Welcome to Minnesota, another hidden dev trait. Now here in the 5th round with the 3rd pick, we're going to take Desmond Dickerson out of Texas with B catching, B man coverage, B to D zone, C press with decent speed. So he's not exactly fast, but let's see what his awareness is. It's A to C, C play rec. Go ahead, we'll just go ahead and bring you to Minnesota, and it is going to be a normal dev trait. So unfortunately, we finally land our 2nd normal dev trait of the draft. And now just a couple picks later, how about tight end Nathan Hicks out of Georgetown? We really don't know a lot about him. I do know I need a backup tight end though, and I'm kind of fine with the way most of his ratings look. He's going to come in with great speed and great acceleration. So we're going to go ahead and draft him, and he will be another normal dev trait. Well, we now have our number 2 corner. I went ahead and jumped to the end of the draft here. But Cecil Pearson comes in with 94 speed, 79 man, 80 zone coverage, and that hidden dev trait, once again, should be another guy that develops pretty well for us. But I think this is the best draft I have done in this entire series, hell, probably since Madden 24 came out. Granted, I did have several 1st round picks, but I feel like I was also hitting later in the draft. We got a 75 overall defensive tackle, a 75 overall strong safety, a 77 overall free safety, so this was the guy that had a normal dev trait. Comes in as a 77 overall though. Then we got a 72 overall center, a 76 overall receiver, a 76 overall outside linebacker, a 73 overall center, and a 73 overall corner. We then got a 66 overall tight end, a 66 overall free safety, a 64 overall strong safety, a 70 overall corner, a 63 overall defensive tackle, and a 65 overall outside linebacker. So we had a massive, massive draft class. And on top of having just an absolutely massive class that I really think is going to help us out, we also walk away with the highest overall player in the draft with Cecil Pearson. I ended up drafting 2 different centers because we needed a backup center, but we also need a left guard because our best left guard is only a 74 overall. And both of these guys seem to be pretty solid here. They both have the same amount of awareness. Pass block is going to go to Camp just a little bit. Run block is going to go to Bishop just a little bit. What about lead block? That's going to go to Camp. And impact block goes to Bishop. So I don't really think it's going to matter who I move over there. But because of his age, we are going to end up moving Russ Camp over to guard. And doing that actually ups his rating to a 74. And he only had the future starter player tag a second ago. Now he has the day 1 starter tag as well. I don't know how he's a future starter and a day 1 starter, but whatever. But you know what? That's not going to be the only move we actually make here. We're going to make Bishop a right guard because our starting right guard is Clarence Bennett, who is a normal depth trade at 76 overall. And then because we still need a backup center, we're going to take our third string left guard, Calvin Reynolds, and move him over to center so we at least have a backup behind our main guy. One other move I'm going to make is I am going to be signing a backup tight end in Tucker Kraft, a 74 overall, just in case Carlos Jackson goes down. Here will be your official starting offense for Season 7 of this franchise, and I guess we did not get to keep that backup tight end. The CPU decided he needed to be cut in the preseason, so, I guess that's what happened. But either way, we get to start 2 rookie offensive linemen. We have a brand new running back we got in for agency, and then we also got Randolph, who we took in the draft. But on the other side of the ball, we got a lot of new players, like Velser, who will be our starting defensive tackle, Pearson, who will be our defensive back number 2, Barker, who will start at strong safety. I thought about starting Gordon here, but I think I'd rather just start Forrest for right now. And Ford will be a backup outside linebacker and a backup middle linebacker for us. But we do now get to set a season goal, and we're going to make it 7 wins, just like it's been the last few years. We've gotten 6 twice, and then we got a 4-win season last year, so hopefully we can get back on track. I believe this is a first for this series. At the midway point, we 1 have a winning record of 4-3, and 2 are currently in first place in the division. Right now in offensive points per game, we're number 13, and defensive points per game, we're number 10. I simulated a couple more weeks into the season so I could handle the focus scouting, and I saw we had a new injury, and apparently it's our star quarterback Jimmy Edwards with a broken wrist. So, we had a really good start to the year. It looked like we were going to be a really solid team. We are currently 6-4, but now we get to play the entire rest of the regular season without our starting quarterback. But instead of rolling with our current backup quarterback, who I will show you here in just a minute, we're going to sign Will Levis to come in and finish out the season and see if he can't lead us to a playoff berth. So the guy we were going to have to start is Vince Russell. We're actually not going to end up cutting him. We're going to go ahead and cut George Kelly here, a 63 overall quarterback. But that whole situation is incredibly frustrating. We finally look like we had a good team, and our quarterback goes down with an injury. However, we still managed to sneak into the playoffs with a 9-8 record. And here's a fun fact for you. I signed Will Levis and then forgot to make him the starting quarterback. So Vince Russell, the guy that was like a 65 overall, came in and actually played really well. 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and got enough wins to get us into the playoffs. Casey Hatchett had 11 rushing touchdowns. Rashawn Carr had 10 on only 154 yards. What about receiving? How do we do there? Tyler Scott, 1,200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Carlos Jackson had a big year, 8 touchdowns. Lloyd Randolph, our rookie receiver, with 9 scores. Max Johnson, I think, just had the worst year of his career with 700 yards and 4 touchdowns. Over on defense, it looks like Henley once again leads the team in tackles. In sacks, Tyree Wilson came away with 8.5. Henley got 4.5. Ethan Collins got 4. Interceptions, Derek Forrest came away with 3. Clifford got 2. Slate got 2. Barker got 2, our rookie safety. And then Desmond Dickerson also came away with 1. One thing that really sucks is it looks like Jimmy Edwards was on pace to at least be in the top 3 for passing yards this year. But it ends up going to Anthony Richardson. The most touchdowns goes to Lamar Jackson with 36. He ties Jordan Love in Jacksonville. Interceptions is Mac Jones over in Detroit. Running the ball, Breece Hall got 1,900 yards to lead the league, and most touchdowns goes to Kenneth Walker, who got 23. Receiving, Jaden Reed came away with 106 catches. Most yards also goes to Reed, and most touchdowns goes to Devin Duvernay in Kansas City, who caught 19 of them. CeeDee Lamb, who's apparently in Houston, came away with 18. And now we get to jump into our very first playoff game, but unfortunately we do have to play the Dallas Cowboys, who in simulation are generally pretty busted, and Anthony Richardson's apparently a 99 overall quarterback. We finished the year with the number 8 offensive points per game and the number 20 defense. The way I'm going to handle this, though, is I will be super simming most of the game. If it is close at the end, we will jump in and watch. I'm actually not going to control anybody, but if it's close at the end, we will see how it ends. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a close one. It is 3rd and 13 with 2 minutes to go. We are tied up at 14 apiece. Edwards on the first play we see going downfield cannot find his man. It leads to a 4th down. But our punter would down them at their own 7-yard line with 1:51 to go. It is now up to the defense. Richardson will drop back to pass. Going over the middle, he finds his man. That's going to be good for about a 10-yard play. Anthony Richardson back in shotgun again. The clock is still running. Both teams do have all 3 timeouts. He's back in a shotgun set. He'll once again look to pass. It's another quick throw, and that'll be a quick catch for the first down. Now 1 minute and 5 seconds to play. From their own 22-yard line, Richardson will drop back to pass again. Going deep downfield, he's got his man. That's Gesicki again, this time down to the 42. We have got to cover their tight end now. The clock is still running. They elect to not burn any timeouts just yet. 35 seconds to go in the game. Running a play action. Richardson under pressure. He's getting sacked on the play for a loss of 4. That brings up a 2nd and 14 with 31 seconds to go as they would burn their first timeout. Richardson back in shotgun again. We'll drop back. We're bringing a blitz, and he's going to get home all the way back to the 32. Make it a 3rd and 20 with 28 seconds to go here in regulation. Richardson from under center will send a man in motion. Take the snap. Hand off to the running back to the outside. He's going to get met and brought down. Now we will burn our first timeout, and they will punt the ball back to us. So let's figure out exactly where we'll be starting. The punt is sent deep. The clock is now running down under 20 seconds. We fielded at the 15-yard line, and he's going to get met and brought down to the 24. Sorry if the commentary got a little bit screwed up there. My throat started to get dry, but now on 1st and 10, we hand off up the middle, and I guess we're just going to play for overtime or not because we burn a timeout. With 12 seconds to go, it's a 2nd and 3 from the 31. Edwards is back in shotgun. It's a quick throw to the outside. That'll be caught, and Max Johnson will get met and brought down at the 40. Will we burn that final timeout or let it go to overtime? 3, 2, 1, and we are headed into overtime here in the wild card round. We get the ball first to start overtime from our own 27-yard line. Jimmy Edwards is back in shotgun. He'll take the snap and look to pass. Standing back in the pocket, he's going to throw this underneath. I believe that's Tyler Scott for about a 6-yard play. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 4 with a 5-wide set. Edwards is all alone in the backfield. From his own 32-yard line, he'll drop back. It's going to be a quick throw that'll be caught for the first down to the 44 by Carlos Jackson. Edwards back in shotgun for the very next play. Hatchett is still in the backfield, but it's going to be a quick throw to the outside, caught by Carlos Jackson again, this time for just a 2-yard play. Now that leads to a 2nd and 8. He's back in shotgun again from his own 47-yard line. It'll be a handoff to Hatchett, who goes up the middle, breaks one tackle, and sets up a 3rd and 2 at the Dallas 48-yard line. The Vikings come out in an I formation for this 3rd down. Edwards will look to pass. A quick throw to the outside, caught by Max Johnson for the first down, but now Russ Camp, one of our linemen, is injured. Hopefully it does not stop this offense too much. 1st and 10. From the 34-yard line, Hatchett is still in at running back here, but Edwards with a quick pass will find Carlos Jackson, who will break one tackle and get brought down for a gain of 6. Now with a 2nd and 4. He's back in shotgun again from the 29-yard line. He'll drop back and look to pass downfield. He's going to throw this one over the middle, right to a defender, and Dallas will take over, and that will immediately make it a sudden death overtime. All right, defense, if you want to come up big and get like a pick 6 here, that would be amazing. 1st and 10 from their own 21. They're going to start with a handoff up the middle, and he's going to get met and brought down for a short gain. Now it's going to be a 2nd and 9. Richardson back in shotgun again. From his own 22. Will drop back. A quick throw to the outside will be caught. He cuts upfield, breaks one tackle, and does not have the first down. It's a 3rd and 1. Richardson's going to line up under center for the 3rd down. From his own 30-yard line, can the defense please get them off the field? He will drop back to pass. A quick throw downfield will fall incomplete, and they will punt it away. So Jimmy Edwards will now have a chance to win the game. We start at our own 29-yard line with a 1st and 10. It'll be a handoff to Hatchett, who goes to the outside and doesn't find much space. That brings up a 2nd and 9. He'll drop back and look to pass downfield. Dropping farther back, now throws underneath. He finds Tyler Scott, who's got the first down, making people miss, and gets all the way to the 48-yard line. Now Edwards is going to line up under center. Hatchett is the running back, and that's where we go with it, up the middle, and once again won't find much space. It's a 2nd and 10. Still at our own 48-yard line. Hatchett is still in the backfield. Edwards will drop back to pass. He's going to throw this one to Hatchett on the outside, who can't make anyone miss, and he's going to lose a yard. That sets up a 3rd and 11 to try to keep this drive alive. Edwards comes out in shotgun. Hatchett is the running back. He'll drop back. It's going to be a screen to the outside. Hatchett has the blockers, cuts upfield, makes one man miss, and is brought out of bounds at the 46-yard line for a 4th and 3. But we're not going to be aggressive. We are going to punt this one away and give Dallas a chance. Never mind, it's a fake punt. Lobbing it downfield. That one will fall incomplete, and Dallas will take over. We just attempted to win a wildcard playoff game by letting our punter throw a pass. That is interesting. Now 1st and 10. A quick throw. That will be caught by Terry McLaurin, and that's going to get them into Viking territory. A gain of 8. He will take the snap. They're going to give it to the running back up the middle, and he's going to get met, but will have the first down to the Vikings' 40-yard line. Anthony Richardson back in shotgun again. He'll take the snap. It's going to be a handoff to the running back who goes to the outside, and he's going to be breaking tackles and finally get brought down for a 5-yard carry. I believe they were already within range for their kicker, Joey Sly. On 2nd and 5, handoff to the running back again, and he's going to get met for a 3rd and 2. Defense, we need some sort of massive play. Anthony Richardson back in shotgun again. He will take the snap. It's going to be a handoff to the outside, and he's going to get met and brought down to bring up a 4th and inches. So this game will come down to this as we will try to ice the kicker. This is going to end up being about a 47-yard try to send Dallas to the divisional round of the playoffs. The snap, the hold, the kick is away, and this one will be good. So unfortunately, this is where our first playoff appearance will end, is in the wildcard round. But I am incredibly proud of this team for even getting to the wildcard round finally, and then we put up a fight against a 99 overall quarterback. I have no doubt this team will be back relatively soon. Well, I guess if you have to lose in the playoffs, you would rather lose to the eventual Super Bowl champions, which is what we have just done. The Cowboys end up beating the Chargers 38-37 for, I believe, their 2nd Super Bowl of this franchise rebuild, and yeah, they won it a couple years ago. They've come back to win it again. But Offensive Rookie of the Year does go to Lloyd Randolph, who is our receiver. I know at the beginning of the episode I said I was going to have time for 2 seasons today, and I really thought I was going to, but then the offseason took a little bit longer than I was expecting. Then we actually ended up making the playoffs and having to watch a bit of that game, so unfortunately I have ran out of time for today. But in the next episode we should at least get 2 seasons done, if not possibly 3.